Wouldn't it be cool to drop runes in random games for the community and help your friends finish their enigma or infinity? Have you ever wondered how players become so wealthy in the first 2 to 3 weeks of a fresh ladder start? I can assure you, they're not doing 24-hour Hell Mephisto Twitch stream grinds. However, that does sound like a little fun. But wealth is normally built early on by clenching your bloodthirsty fingers in the torch market, and it's all possible by running around with this little guy right here. Haha, he's so cute. This is a day 1 budget smiter, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can do it too. Just remember this quote from the wise words of Ricky Bobby: if you ain't first, you're last. I'd suggest befriending a few Sorks on your journey to level 80. Not only can they assist you with that key grind, they can also supply you with random low-budget items from Mephisto. If you're taking the solo approach using Foe and Conviction and Chaos runs to gear up, it's effective enough to get you up and running. The 3 basic items I'd recommend would be a Spirit Sword, Shield, and a Lore Helm, which will provide +5 skills. Here's a quick basic Foe skill tree without getting too much into it. There's a few different ways to spend your points as a Foe Paladin, so please leave your pitchforks at home. And if you have any suggestions for the skill tree, please share your thoughts in the comments down below. Okay, it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of this budget Smiter build guide. This is the exact skill tree I was using during the testing, and I purposely left out points to show you the power of this build. I maxed out Smite, Holy Shield, and Fanaticism. 1 point into Zeal. It could come in handy while you deal with ads sometimes, but I'd suggest just ignoring them for the most part. 1 point to Salvation, which I'm normally using while I'm fighting Uber Mephisto just to counteract his Conviction aura. Putting 1 point into Prayer, Cleansing, and Vigor can also come in handy if you're ever in a pinch. If I was trying to be as efficient as possible, I'd dump all remaining points into Defiance because it's the synergy for Holy Shield. I know hybrid foe smiters are getting a lot of hype right now, but I don't recommend trying it until you get some endgame gear such as Drax, T-Gods, Gore Riders, and a Grief. For gear, I'm using the Rune Word Black in a 3-sock flail that I shopped in normal from Farah in Act 2. This provides us with that 40% much needed crush and blow. A G-Phase socketed with the Thul Rune because I was lacking that cold res. A Ral or Ort Rune would work just as well to cover that specific res that you're missing. Nokuzan Relic for the amulet. If you haven't found one of these, a rare amulet with random resistances would do just fine. The shield is a 45 res Paladin base shield. I know most likely you won't be finding one of these day 1, but that's why I left it clean. Finding some random 20 to 30 all res Paladin shield and using a socket quest for 4 open sockets to put 4p diamonds inside will give you well over that 45 all res that my shield provides. Random res boots, random res rings, smoke for the armor for added res. I keep a treachery in my inventory to swap in and out for that level 15 fade proc. This is a Bloodcraft belt, which requires a Tal Rune, Perfect Ruby, Jewel, and a Mesh belt or Mithril coil. It rolls 5 to 10% open wounds, which you will need during your encounters. A Raven Frost for Cannot Be Frozen is huge for this build. You might be able to get around without one, but I'd suggest trying to trade for one ASAP if you're planning on doing torches day 1. It's most likely the most expensive part of this build, minus the Lem for Treachery. Laying of Hands for the gloves, mainly for the IAS and Fire Res. Rare gloves with IAS and Res will do just fine. You could also use a pair of Blood Fist or Venom Grip gloves if you have them. If you don't have a pair of Drac gloves, you'll need to shop a Life Tap wand from Drognin in Act 2 Nightmare. While you're at it, get yourself a Teleport Staff. It will come in handy while looking for some of the mini Ubers. The charms are random res charms mixed with a few life small charms that you should keep and collect while you're on your journey. Just remember, as long as you overcap your resistances to deal with Mephisto's Conviction aura, have a Life Tap wand, open wounds, and crush and blow with a few rows of full juves, you're going to be just fine. So you slayed your way through the mini Ubers for your organs, go to the River of Flame, unequip your shield, and stand in the fire with your Treachery to proc your level 15 Fade before starting your next encounter. Re-equip your Smoke Armor and Resistance Shield and open up Uber Tryst. I normally start by luring Mephisto through these 3 burning buildings. I recommend running Salvation during the Mephisto fight for added safety, but it's not necessary depending on your resistance situation. Swap to your Life Tap wand and curse Mephisto with it. I normally ignore Mephisto's ads, they shouldn't be a big problem, but if they are, you can always zeal them down. As long as your Life Tap is up, you should be strong enough to AFK smite his ass down. After Mephisto dies, you'll most likely be poisoned, so having 1 point into cleansing will come in handy. I guess you could also bring a few antidotes with you instead if you want. Now it's Belle's turn. I like to run clockwise to the east corner of the map. Belle normally tries to telestomp your ass when you run by this house right here. Life tap Baal and switch to Fanaticism. You no longer will be needing salvation, but you will need a row of mana pots during this phase because you will be mana drained most of the time. So having some extra mana pots in your inventory can come in handy. I tried to switch to Zeal to finish Baal off when he was low, but I didn't realize my mana pool was so empty. Baal ended up healing back up, but I didn't panic. I just reset the fight and stayed calm. Don't worry, you will end up getting him down. Diablo is probably the easiest to kill. Life tap him up and smite his ass down while using Fanaticism. So now that your Uber Farmer is up and running, you can be self-efficient by charging players 4 sets of keys for an unidentified torch. So for every 3 runs that you do, you can acquire your own set of personal keys to farm your own torch. Just remember that torches are a hot topic the first few weeks of ladder and will fall off over time the deeper we get into it. I know this might not be the most exciting way to build currency in Diablo 2 Resurrected during a fresh ladder start, but it's one of the most efficient. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoy this style of content, I'd love if you'd please like and sub to the channel. I'm hoping I could at least work 1 or 2 out of you.